everybody. It's a whole new show. Look, I even wore mouse ears for the occasion. You guys hopefully already know my co-conspirator, Julie Hasson, and she is in her lovely kitchen in, now, are you in Portland? We talk about
just
this a
outside
lot.
Portland.
Okay. Oh, and Apple says, hello everyone who's ready for some frozen creamy treats. I know I am. I'm having an ADHD day, like crazy. Like I'm like, ooh, let me work on the Ninja Creami book. Ooh, let me clean the kitchen. Ooh, let me check my plants. Like it's been, yeah. So it's going to be exciting. So what we're going to do today, so Julie and I have been friends. How long have we been friends?
A long time.
Like 8 years? Has it been like 8 years?
Maybe longer. I feel it was that conference here in Portland.
Yeah, I don't know that we really met. We didn't really talk because I thought you were too fancy for me for a while. Julie and I really are friends, and in fact, we do a lot of like business accountability stuff with each other, but there's lots of laughing. Like Cheryl, we were trying to decide the name of the show, which is Kitchen Toys Summer Edition.
For now.
Until we just. Right. But we realized if you're two middle-aged ladies talking about toys and two ladies, things get dicey really fast. So we kept coming up with names that I'm not going to talk about. And we laughed for like an hour. And we were doing the meeting in the car, and Cheryl was there, and Cheryl's like, that's what you call a meeting? That's it? And I'm like, well, yeah, we got some work done, and we planned a whole show. What do you expect? But yeah, Julie, I remember not feeling like you were too fancy for me when you had asked me a question, and you couldn't do something on your computer, and I called you. It was the first time we talked on the phone, and we talked on the phone for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Like it was kind of like crazy and exciting. Like we just clicked immediately. So there was lots of laughing, and I think it was right after that I was in Portland for part of this like Pacific Northwest tour, which is a long story for another day.
Yes.
Yeah. And I had to move out of my room, and Julie was coming so we could go to the tiki bar and have Mai Tais, which is why there may be a tropical drink theme going through our summer show. And I knew I just loved you because I was like, well, I've got to change rooms, but let's just go ahead and go out. I can do it when we get back. And you were like, no, absolutely not. We're doing it now. And you went in and you helped me move all my stuff. And then I realized you were a Taurus like me. And I was like, hey, no wonder I listened to you because you're a Taurus. And I already know that Tauruses always have your best interest at heart and are just trying to help. And we even shared Mai Tais. Like we tasted each other's drinks. Like it was like we had known each other for quite a long time.
Absolutely. It was so much fun. And that's where I thought for a second that was the conference, but it was the different tour you were on.
It was. Yeah. I remember seeing you from afar at like one of the vegan blogger conferences, and you were hanging out with people I knew, but that's when, I think it was right before my first book was published, so I felt like I was just, but I had the best swag in the bag. I can't remember if it was that worth my pepper grinder from OXO.
Oh, that's right.
No one forgot my book, even though it didn't exist yet.
And we have the same agent.
Yeah, that's true too. We're both with, now it's the Eckes group, because Lisa Eckes and Sally Eckes are both agents. And they're both my agents and my friends.
Yep.
We need to talk them into doing something cool too. So now Apple,
that would be fun.
Who I love and who is always here. Apple lives in Vancouver, needs to know the name of your paint color on your cupboards.
Oh my.
Cupboards.
You know, I wish I knew. It actually needs to be repainted. It's at this point just old paint.
It's called officially old yellow paint.
And we made a mistake of paint. So this was like, we were relatively new to the Pacific Northwest in cold weather, and we didn't realize that you don't paint your cabinets in winter because the paint never dries. And so slowly over the years, the paint's just like kind of like peeling and buckling. So yeah.
It looks beautiful from here.
Thank you.
I will tell you
That's
that.
what I want.
And we want to say hello to Lydia, who is in Montreal, CJ from Scotland, and I'm not sure
Ooh.
where you're from, but Anne says a beautiful thing, coconut rum. I like the way you think.
Yes.
And there may
Yes.
be, you're doing some rum involved thing.
I am, and actually, I might have some coconut rum in my liquor cabinet. I'm gonna go run and get some. Should I?
I think so, and I'll just kind of say hey to
Be right
everybody.
back. Okay.
And Kimmy says hi, everyone. Boniface says hello. I'm watching from Rwanda in East Africa. Welcome. We're so happy to see you. And Anne says hi in addition to coconut rum. And Jenny has like a peace sign and some ice cream. So I'm feeling your vibe. Ooh. Julie,
There's only a little left.
I wonder why that is.
I think
You're
it's
going to
been
take
in the
a
liquor
swig.
cabinet for a while. Yeah.
Now, we will
Still
just
smells like
notice, we will always have non-alcoholic options in all the recipes, as well as whole food plant-based. Kind of like, what were we talking about? Like, there were two different things we were saying. One could be like the good and evil recipes, but you had a different one you said today.
Naughty and nice.
Naughty and nice. Of course, I'm the nice at this point. We had this conversation in a live recently where I say that Cheryl always gets mad because everyone's like, oh, you must be so awesome to live with Kathy. She's so wonderful and nice and lovely. And I'm like, and it's fine. It's live. The dogs bark. Life happens.
Okay.
So don't even worry. And if it gets, I can always
Okay,
mute
good.
you from where I am. I'm in like command central. So I'll mute
My
for just a
dog.
second and we'll just see. And I'll let you know when you're you do what you need to do. Aw, thank you, Boniface. That's very sweet. Oh, Carrie from Seattle. And Elizabeth is here. Yay. Elizabeth runs the plant-based pod in Chapel Hill. And you're back on. And if you go
Okay, good.
to my YouTube channel, you may be on my YouTube channel. You could be on Julie's YouTube channel because we're broadcasting everywhere, and I just see a little YouTube thing. But you can see the whole class I taught for her pod on YouTube for free.
Cool.
So you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Well, where do I start? Where do I begin? I have, I write cookbooks like we both do.
Mm-hmm.
I have been in the food industry for over 30 years, but that ages me a little bit.
We're the same
what
age,
else?
I think, aren't we? I'll just flat out say I turned 57.
Okay, and I'm 55. I just
Okay,
turned
you're
55.
younger than me. So see, does that make you feel better?
Sure. No, it really doesn't. I mean, age is such a funny thing anyways, but and I like being the age that I am. But yeah, so I've been in the food industry a long time, written 9 cookbooks, and have been doing everyday dish. Gosh, I want to say maybe like 15 years.
It's a long time.
I've been doing this YouTube channel, somewhere about there, with a few hiatuses in there too.
And so you guys, wherever you're watching from, if you look around somewhere, you will see, I put where to follow me if you're not on my YouTube channel, where to follow Julie, where to get some of Julie's bread ebooks, which are all gluten-free and
Thank
vegan.
you.
So that's what's kind of cool. Julie is also gluten-free and vegan, so it'll make everything really easy for us as far as when we're doing recipes, and we can both help you make them whole food plant-based if that's what you need to do. So don't worry. And I told some of you guys this yesterday, but it goes through today. The Ninja Creami, which is what we're doing today. Let's see, there we go. The Ninja Creami, which makes creamy pints, and that's what we're going to demonstrate. I swear we'll get to it eventually. It's on sale for $70 off on the Ninja website. Where you look, there's a link for you to click, which is my affiliate link, which means I will get a few pennies if you buy through it, and it helps bring you things like this show and new creamy recipes and things like that. There is a code you have to enter, which I think is Memorial 70. It even says on the page again. So I think it's through midnight tonight, but I'm not sure. It might be through a different time. But so that makes it $159.99 plus free shipping with 3 containers.
Amazing.
Yeah. So if you don't already have one, I know a lot of you have gotten some. Oh, hey, Linda, it's hot and muggy, and she is also in Canada. We have lots of Canadian viewers. And so frozen treats would be awesome. Okay, should we talk a little bit about the Creami, or do you want to talk about why you liked it? Can you tell this is an unscripted show? Anybody? Anybody?
Well, I mean, I just want to truly, my love for the Ninja Creami is, and it is love, is that it makes the silkiest, creamiest vegan ice cream ever. And I do have a Bravo ice cream machine, which does an amazing job, but this makes a fantastic, like I would say totally rivals to the point that my husband, who is not vegan, said like that was the creamiest ice cream he's ever had. And it's just fruit and, you know, a little bit of coconut milk and stuff in the Ninja. Oh, I should grab mine too, huh?
I put you on full screen and didn't tell you, so I'll put me on full screen. So, Julie can't see all the things that I'm doing, and so this is going to be now you see why we like hanging out together. So I realized I hadn't gotten out at my pint. So the thing about the Ninja Creami that some people don't like is that you put things in your pints and you freeze them for 24 hours. But here's the thing, if I made a mix, I'm going to go ahead and let it sit in the fridge and do some other stuff, and then my thing has to be frozen for 12 to 24 hours anyhow, so I don't see the complaints. I don't understand them, really.
Yeah. And you can bulk do them. So sometimes what I'll do is and I could probably use a few more of the empty containers, but I can put them out and do like one big batch of ice cream in all the containers or fruit and whatever, and even kind of change up each one, pop them in the freezer, and then whenever anybody's like, I need ice cream for dessert, it's ready to go.
And I love that. And you can make smoothies in these. So I actually have part of a smoothie, and we can see how long we end up going, because we can always do creamy part 2 or part 3.
Ooh.
I know.
Okay.
Because it's our show. We can do whatever we want to.
That's right.
That makes you guys
the
happy.
Naughty and Nice.
The Naughty and Nice Kitchen Toys Summer Edition. You see how we keep backing into these corners?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And Anne is saying, what's the YouTube name of the Chapel Hill plant-based pod? At Julie, if you can share. So if you look up Kathy Hester, KathyHester on YouTube, because I always forget what I think it's like Kathy Hester vegan recipes or something. I change it all the time. So look up Kathy Hester. Right now I'm the only vegan game in town there. And go to the one that is the full class from the pod, and it has all the pod information. If that doesn't work, or that's just way too much for you to remember, just email me at kathyhester@gmail.com, and I'll get you that link, okay? I used to be able to type links in here, but I can't anymore. And if you're on Julie's YouTube, then you won't see what Elizabeth is typing in.
Right.
Okay, so you could make a whole week of smoothie bowls.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but I like that idea of eating ice cream for breakfast.
Yeah. Yum. Matcha or berries or pineapple. I mean, anything.
Exactly. I had actually at Sprouts, I think they had some on sale dragon fruit. So this was my first going ahead and buying a fresh dragon fruit, and I made 2 smoothie bowls with it.
Ooh, yum.
And the one, I only ate half because I'm going to take pictures of it after this. So another thing you should know about this, so let's say you're like, that's a lot, I live alone. So the thing is I find when you have like that Cuisinart one that you freeze the big thing that you mix in, or KitchenAid or whatever, if you're especially doing low sugar, low fat, it freezes like this, right? Hard as a rock.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter that this is hard as a rock, because this is going to spin it and make it all creamy. But that's why I like this. So I'd prefer to put everything in, have it frozen solid hard, and then make it perfect right before I eat it. If I only eat half, then I just need to smooth this off again, and I can freeze it and spin it the next day, right?
Oh, yeah. And it really does work to spin it. I mean, that is no joke. That
you're going to get to see it
fire on there
twice even. It's going to be very exciting. And that way also we can talk about, sometimes it can be powdery, and I've got a couple of solutions for that. I'm sure Julie has some solutions for that as well. And what else do you need? So you need this. It comes with 3 pints. You know me, so literally I'm getting 8 more delivered, and I think I have 6 extra already because Cheryl got me two on my birthday, 2 but when I got the Ninja Creami, and 2 just because she was being sweet. She probably got in trouble and got me. I don't want flowers. I want Ninja Creami pints. Do you feel like
I feel you. I was texting you earlier about like Instant Pots and stuff. Like, I get it. Like, appliance love is real.
It is very true. Appliance love is very real, and so is the fact that these things keep like skewing. My mouse ears keep looking like I've been drinking. And these are 50th anniversary Haunted Mansion ears that match my shirts, because I'm going to make a copycat Dole Whip that's all whole food plant-based. You guys are going to love it. You can have it for breakfast every day. And Lizzie says, glad I saw this was happening. I've been obsessing over this machine.
Oh, good. What can we tell you?
Yeah, and if anybody has questions too, I was thinking maybe I'll go full screen and you can describe some of the stuff. Do you want to do that?
Sure. I mean, whatever you want to do.
You be the narrator, and I'll see if I can get the right camera angle for whatever you want to say.
Okay. So I'm narrating what you're doing.
It's like a game.
Absolutely. Okay. This is gonna be fun.
Let's hope.
And here's Kathy.
The Ninja Creami. So tell us what some of these parts might be.
Okay. So when you get it, you have the outer bowl, which is really important, which comes with a lid.
And it has these holes.
Yes, it does.
And look, and actually let me get you a close-up of the bottom of the Creami.
Yes.
Sit this. There we go. I've got a lot of cameras going. I'm like, which camera am I at? So see how those match up in there? So in fact,
yes.
And that's
it doesn't slide that way.
Not at all.
And it's really important that it's secure, because the rate in which this the thing spins, the blade spins, with so much physical pressure, it's really important that that bowl not move at all.
Because you can't see much of this right here, but this comes all the way down. So this actually pushes this down.
Yep.
Ooh, and there's a magnet. I never knew there was a magnet there before.
There's a magnet?
Yeah, because look, it's holding it.
Oh.
That makes
okay.
sense.
And then the top, very important.
Oop, let's get some better focus. Focus, camera. Okay.
Okay, so you got the blade, which comes out and is easily removed with the paddle latch.
Yeah.
So you just click it and it comes out.
Can you see these little guys? When I hold the latch, it comes out and makes a big space. You just drop that in.
And they have big teeth. It has big teeth on it, sharp teeth.
And
right?
it's not sharp as in a knife. It's more of sharp like a KitchenAid blade.
Exactly.
So unlike, and I'll put us both here for a second. Unlike the big Ninja blades, because they scare the crap out of me. So my first Ninja had one of those big ones that had the slicers all the way through it. And I never used it because I'm like, that thing's going to kill me. And it's definitely closer to their regular blade.
Okay. Well, and it's sharp, but it's not, I mean, you'd really have to work to cut yourself on it. It's not like a scary blade, but it's important that it's sharp because of all the pressure that it's, you know, the machine, when it presses down and spins and shaves the ice. And have you noticed, Kathy, how you can see the line going down as it's spinning?
I'm hoping I can capture that with one of the cameras.
Okay, good. Since you have multiple cameras and I only have the one.
So far. You'll have more soon. Don't worry. And Lizzie is saying, I haven't bought an ice cream machine yet because you have to put a huge bowl in the freezer. Yes. With this, it's a pint container, and that's a huge selling feature. And the thing is, too, is even if you have I think 3 or 4 of these probably take up the same amount of space as that one Cuisinart quart.
But they stack, too. So
that's true, too, yeah. So here I have some empty pints.
Yeah.
I think the reason I don't think about that is that they don't stack where I'm putting them in the freezer. So,
okay.
But, so they do stack like that. With mine, so I have, I'm putting them in the basket that pulls out. And so what I am finding is I can put this and something on top of it, too. So
Which is great.
The goal is to have that whole pull-out shelf be just creamies. And
that's
close.
A lot of deliciousness right there.
It is. Do they nest inside each other? Nope. Because
they do not.
Yeah, they have to be the same size, so no. But you can put the lids on them and stack them up like this. That's probably the best way. Good afternoon, Facebook user. I don't see your name, but we are happy you're here. Oh, and Angela is here from South Beach. Welcome. Okay, doke.
Hi, Angela.
So, do you mind if I show probably the volcano of this? Oh, there is no volcano.
What?
Do you have a volcano on yours? Mine's...
Nope.
Okay, well, this is a bad example. I'll find something later and show you, because sometimes what you want it to do is you want it to be very level, and mostly you don't want it to be tilty. So when you're freezing these, they need to sit not like this. Mm-hmm. They have to sit steady because this blade is going straight in. The first big complaint is people just don't understand how ice cream work, in my opinion. They're like, I have to freeze this for 24 hours. That's not instant. It's like, there is no such thing as instant ice cream.
No. Because even that machine over there, it still takes 40 plus minutes to make ice cream in it. And you have to blend all the stuff and everything. It's not instant. There is no instant. This is, I feel like the prep is done, out of the way. It's kind of like making a sandwich or something. You just do it, you put it away, and then later on you've got everything ready to go. Then it's instant.
It's true. It's like if you made all your sandwiches for the week. And
Yeah.
then just as you
Yeah,
want
like
one, you
batch
pull it
cooking.
out. The second complaint is that sometimes people, thank you, Angela loves my ears that still are sliding off as if I am drinking. I just didn't want to put that thing on, that elastic. Believe it or not, I thought it might make me look silly. And here I am. And Deborah says it looks like a fun gadget. It is totally fun. So sometimes what will happen is it'll freeze and it'll make a volcano, and that's just because some things come up. And when you do
I haven't had that happen.
oh, it happens to me all the time. So I know I'll have, because I've got like 6 pints in there. I know it's got to be in one, and we'll show you. You just take a spoon and scrape it, and it looks like granita, like so. It's not hard to do, and then I just smooth it out. But as you can see, possibly nope. Here, I'm going to go back to just me for a second because it's easy. I can change my cameras and see it's pretty straight. You can see from the sides. But I thought I was going to be demoing the scraping, but no.
Surprise!
You never know what'll happen when it's Julie and Kathy hanging out.
That's right.
So, did I miss anything that you wanted to talk about so far?
No, not at all. Wait, should I put this back in the freezer because I know like it's not supposed to thaw at all.
Here's the thing.
It's a good point.
Yeah. You can go first because it actually depends on the temperature of your freezer. I'm gonna glue this to my head next time. It's also hard to do this like this way. It's like the opposite land. So one of the things is if it comes out too powdery, it means that your freezer is extra cold. So you could indeed change the temperature of your freezer, which I'm not doing. I can tell you that. Or you can leave it out for 5 or 10 minutes. So it sounds like my freezer may be colder than yours.
It could be.
So I think you should go first. And, do you want to make it, or do you want to spin it and then make? Maybe we should both spin then make. No,
why don't we do that?
Then make, then I'll make, then spin. I'll put mine back, and I'm going to put you on full screen.
Okay. So I'm going to spin first, right?
Yeah.
Or make first?
I think so. Let's spin first.
Okay. Well, and you might need to mute me because this is the only thing to know in advance about the Ninja Creami is that it is very loud. When it is doing its thing, it's about 5 minutes of really loud sound, right?
Yeah, like
is that
3
what
to
you
4.
would say, Kathy? Okay, somewhere in there. So you just have to expect that it's going to be loud. It doesn't bother me, but it could, if loud noises bother you, you could wear some sort of earmuffs or something. My husband's always telling me, because I use the blender and all this stuff, he's like, don't you worry about these loud sounds? I'm like, nope.
I'm with you.
All right, so you want to make sure that your blade is in, that your cup right here, I can't see what I'm showing you guys, so hopefully you can see, goes in until it is locked in place with those little feet, and you twist this on. Let's see if I can do that. See, I haven't done it in a few weeks, and then now let's see. Come on, there we go. So it plops down, and then it clicks into place, and you can hear it click. I don't know if you could hear that click.
Yeah, we could hear it.
And now it's ready to go. Okay, good. So now it's ready to go, and I'm going to turn this on.
Can you move the plant that's in the yeah, so they can see that.
There you go. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. So then you set it on the base until it clicks on. So it'll click into place, and then you turn it this direction, and it clicks into the spot.
And that's a really big click.
It is. So you can hear the different clicks along the way, and if you don't hear it click, you could kind of move it and then do it again until you hear it click. And then, so it has all these different functions. So you turn it on. And then for this would be, I'm going to call mine light ice cream because there's some coconut milk in it, rather than just a straight sorbet. But I don't think it's really that big of a deal. And you can always respin it. Is that correct?
You always can respin it, and chances are you might have to anyhow. Jenny's saying, what's in the container? You just want to give her a quick...
in mine?
Yeah, sneak peek.
So...
Or you don't have to make it, but just kind of tell like it's coconut.
We're gonna make it in a few minutes. So it's canned, unsweetened coconut. It is a little bit of coconut milk, just enough to add a tiny bit of coconut flavor without making it too decadent, and it adds a little bit of richness to it, and a little bit of sugar and a little bit of rum. But the nice thing is it's a totally adaptable recipe, so you could leave out the sugar if you wanted to, or the rum, and it's not a big deal at all. But I do like that because it's almost like borderline cocktail. Dole Whip meets cocktail, I guess, and it's delicious. So are you ready for me to turn it on?
And I can mute you. I'll mute you.
Okay, because
So Julie's muted right now in case she's forgotten. And yeah, sometimes, and Diane says the pineapple is very sweet. I would not add sugar. And I think it just depends on your taste. And Lizzie says, tiki style ice cream, I'm here for that. And Julie is my tiki gal, that is for sure. And here's the thing, Diane, and actually I'll switch us to where we're both showing until it's time. Wow, every time I bend over, the ears get a little crazier. Woo-hoo. Okay, and Apple says cocktail smoothies sound fantastic. And with Diane, with you saying, I don't know how I moved it and now you're unmuted, but we don't hear it very much. I think
okay, cool.
Yeah. Because your earbuds are adjusting it, which is awesome. So
that's good.
Here's the thing, and pretty much on all the things that Julie and I do, she may add a little bit more sweetener than I do, and I add some sweetener sometimes too. And it depends if we're doing a ripe pineapple or bananas or cantaloupe, how ripe is the fruit? So I made a banana one that I needed nothing in. And then I've made others that I was like, well, I'm going to pour a little bit of maple syrup in there or some date syrup. So you can always puree stuff. And actually, I did find one. See? Yeah. And so, and we'll look at that in a second too. But that's the great thing. You can do it to taste. So we can blend these things in the blender. And in fact, I love this. I have a little Ninja blender that has this smoothie bowl, so it kind of turns like the Blend Tech. This is exactly 1 creamy pint. So I do my little experimentation here. So like last night I made blueberry lemon. I made a little bit of simple syrup to go into it because but for the whole thing I used a 1/4 cup. And you probably could even cut it back more. I used like was it a 1/4 cup or 1/2 cup of lemon balm? Probably a 1/4 cup of lemon balm. I ended up getting almost 3 cups of berries in there. I blended, then I blended some more. So just know that as you're experimenting with these things, because there aren't the Ninja booklet doesn't have a lot of super whole food, plant-based friendly ones, but you can make any of them that way. Okay.
Yeah.
And actually, I'm going to go back to full screen on you. Oh, and you're muted because I muted that scene. I'm sorry. So say what you said again. That was my fault.
There's a button over here on the side that I couldn't see, but it unlatches the bowl so you can just twist it off. And then you push the button to get the lid off because it is locked. Wait a second. I'm probably doing, I was doing it the wrong direction. This looks so good. So this is perfect.
You don't need to respin that at all. I think your fridge
you know what?
Your freezer is less cold than mine. And we'll see.
I think it's also that little bit of coconut milk, honestly. just creams it up a little bit more. I mean, it's just, I can't say for sure, but that's my guess. And, but also, and it did sit out while we were talking for about 10 minutes, but this is, oh my gosh, can I taste it?
Oh, yeah. Dreamy Sunshine says, wow, that looks yummy, and I think it looks delicious too.
It's so good. Wait, so I want to just show you really quick, if you're making it into a cocktail, that, and then you probably want me to show how to make it too.
Well, you're going to, well, see, now you get to have your cocktail while you're making it. Maybe we need to have this show a little later.
Who needs dinner later, right? Okay, so what I like to do is these little mini cocktails. So for dessert, typically I like these little tiny canning jars when I do ice cream. I can serve a lot of people that way, like if I have my extended family over. So we put a little bit in there, and then I like to put it with just a splash, depending on who's having it, a splash of rum over top. Oh my God. So it's kind of like a cocktail and dessert, but you're really not having that much booze in there, because that was probably like a tablespoon of rum.
Yeah.
And then inside the recipe, it has 2 tablespoons, but you could do without, like totally do it all the time without as well. Okay.
Well, and so Apple had a really good point, and so the rum would make it softer too. So
it does, which is why you can't add more than 2 tablespoons when you're making it.
Yep. And
because if you do, then it's too soft for the machine to do its magic. So it's kind of nice. It's like, you know, your limit, or at least that's what I found is the limit is like 2 tablespoons. And I don't need that.
You were trying to make one for me, weren't you? I appreciate
that. I was. If only we lived closer and not on opposite sides of the country.
Well, that's why you need to move here. I'll help you paint your kitchen cabinets. Actually, our house has just gotten so valued because the house behind ours sold for triple what they bought it for. When we bought our house, yeah. And Apple says, I see a lot of, and I never know how to say it. How do you say it with the scoop of ice cream in the coffee?
Affogato.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. You could do affogato, and it would be amazing. In fact, maybe we'll do that on another one.
Ooh.
Another episode of our Naughty and Nice Kitchen Edition. I don't know what we're calling it.
We're going to be like brought up. Like I've never had anything like come up to the YouTube board, but this one is going to come up. They're going to be like,
I don't think so. I think there's way worse.
Oh, there's definitely way worse. So, Julie, you're using full fat coconut milk, right? So could we use?
I am.
We could use the lower fat if we wanted to, right?
Absolutely. You could do the light one, and you do not have to use the full fat. You're only adding, like I add 1/3 of a cup, but you could reduce it down to 1/4 of a cup. And honestly, you'll have better flavor from the full fat.
Yes.
So that's just what I found, and it'll be less icy. It tends to kind of work that way. And then you can freeze your coconut milk into smaller containers because this is a lot to use. But I do want to say that I have been going through so many different coconut milks, and there's no consistency. Yep. Whoops.
Here, it's okay. I'm going to go to both of us for a second. I have the little bitty baby version, and this has like just over a cup. It's like 8.5 ounces, so it's about a cup. So I'm experimenting with doing some of this too. I got this at my local Asian market, which I'm pretty sure where Julie got her big one.
Yep. We have a great Japanese grocery store down the street, which is where I find it. I used to get it from a wholesaler, and it's the best. It's the most consistent because every time, like I go to Trader Joe's or I go somewhere else and I grab canned coconut milk, half the time it's like this gray color and there's no creaminess to it, and I feel like it doesn't have that same coconut flavor. And if I'm going to add the fat of coconut milk, I want to get the most bang for my buck.
Well, here's the thing.
I get really snippy about that.
Well, and that's the thing. Okay, I will tell you this. The difference between full fat coconut milk and low fat coconut milk is water. So it is actually still more cost effective for you to buy full fat coconut milk, let it be at room temperature, add your own water, and freeze it separately. Should you want to make that. Or use less.
Or use less. Which is the thing that I like to do. I also sometimes will make homemade coconut milk, and I think that's lower in fat, so it's probably more of like a lighter coconut milk. And it's really good and creamy and white and all the stuff that you want.
I think that needs to be in one of our summer shows. I don't know how to make it from. Do you use a whole coconut and everything?
No, use dried coconut.
Okay, that one I know. Like I took a class from an Indian entrepreneur here who has Vimalas, which is great. She has lots of gluten-free and vegan stuff, not all, but she had the coconut in her hand and the machete and went whack, and it perfectly opened because she's from Kerala, which is like, so she grew up doing this.
Yes.
Now, let's see, what am I missing?
I would be missing a finger or a limb if I was doing that with, like, I would not trust myself with that.
Deborah says American Test Kitchen voted this brand, is it Roy D? I'm probably pronouncing it, as the best coconut milk. And Diane and somebody else was saying there is going to be a replay. This will be just like all my other shows and Julie's shows, so only this. It's like all my live shows. So we do it. This is Julie's live show now. I think I may have to take this off for a minute.
But it's my first live show.
With me, of course.
That's right.
And so that is, so it will be taped and replayed. So basically, if you come back to this link, I think you can sneak in before it gets processed by YouTube. I'm noticing lives went from being processed in 2 hours to sometimes a whole 24 hours. But so just make note of the link and you should be able to see it. And Lizzie got a call and may have missed this. Should we chill the coconut milk?
No. Actually, you don't want to chill it because it will separate. And one thing that I do is shake it really well because the coconut cream will rise to the top, but you want it mixed in. And I find the coconut cream on its own is just, it's almost like coconut oil. So I always shake it really well. But this really is my favorite. All right, so I'm going to quickly show you how to make the ice cream. So because there is a line on the creamy container, you know exactly how full you want it to be. And what I do is I put my sugar in. So I have 1/3 cup of sugar, but like I said, you could reduce that. I've done 1/4 cup of sugar and 1/4 cup of coconut milk, and it works fine. And then you put your coconut milk in because this is kind of I'll show you in a second. You want to mix it together really well because you want to dissolve your sugar. You don't want the sugar to just kind of settle at the bottom into those little feet. So you mix that together. If you want to, you could whiz it together real quickly in the blender, but I just feel like that's one extra step that you don't need to take.
Now, Julie, and I went to fix my ears, so I didn't see what happened. So I'm a bad. Did you just put regular sugar in there?
I put 1/3 cup of sugar and 1/3 cup of coconut milk.
Oh, really? You didn't make simple syrup to do it? So far, I've only been using liquid sweeteners.
And you could do like agave in there, like maybe 1/4 cup of agave. But I find that you can just mix the sugar and the coconut milk right into the bottom.
Nice.
And then if you want to use rum.
I bet the rum is dissolving the sugar.
Well, this is actually pretty well dissolved.
Really? Okay, I'm totally going to have to try that. That's awesome.
But I do recommend that you have a finer grain sugar. So maybe whiz your sugar in the Vitamix or whatever device you want first. So you'll make it more finely ground so it'll dissolve faster. And then you could add 1 or 2 tablespoons of rum into that. So we're just going to go for the 2 tablespoons. My husband's going to be so excited for dessert tomorrow night.
That's awesome.
Okay. All right, and then this is the easy part. So this is canned crushed pineapple and pineapple juice, and you add just enough of the pineapple to the max fill line. And so I put mostly pineapple with some juice. And then whatever's left, I put it in a container in the fridge, and I'll just use it for the next batch, or I'll eat it, or, whatever I'm going to do with
coconut
it.
pineapple pancakes.
There you go. Or throw it in a smoothie. Like, it never goes to waste. Also, like, a great snack that I don't even remember. I had it at a health food restaurant once when I was a teenager, but it's applesauce with crushed pineapple and a little cinnamon is really good.
Ooh.
It's a really good dessert. So sometimes if I have a little bit of pineapple in the fridge, I'll do that. But this is it. So you give it a good mix. Make sure that there's no sugar at the bottom. And you can tell that if there's any sugar because you kind of hear the grittiness, like as you stir it, of the sugar on the bottom. And then you put the lid on and pop it in your freezer for 24 hours.
Which is awesome. And another thing I've been doing is how they have dry erase markers, they have wet erase markers. And I've been using wet erase markers to write on the top. Now what happens is when I take it out here, then it starts to get that moisture and then it'll go away. But you can tell while it's in the fridge for sure. And
that's great.
What Julie just showed you is even kind of a slightly complicated Ninja Creami recipe, and it wasn't, right? And that's kind of what I want you to see is that even if you do something kind of super exotic and delicious and crazy for you, like a lot of the recipes I've been doing involve putting mostly fruit into a thing. Like with bananas, I just unpeel them and I mash them with a small masher in there, add enough unsweetened non-dairy milk. Usually you could put some vanilla flavoring or use vanilla unsweetened milk. If the bananas aren't super sweet, I will add a little bit of date syrup, agave nectar, or maple syrup. And you can make coconut sugar simple syrup too. So I know everybody has their lines that they don't cross. So whichever line you have, you don't have to cross it.
Right, that's true.
Oh, Apple has a little idea for us. Pineapple and smoked tofu on salad with sun-dried tomatoes. And she says, you're welcome. And yes, that sounds awesome. Well, I did find a volcano-y one, so I'm going to switch to, and see how Julie right now, though, she's spreading it out thin, or spreading out, not thin, straight, level, so that when she puts it in the freezer, it won't go awry. And you'll see a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to full screen, Julie. And then I'll show you from overhead. So you see how, and sometimes things just freeze in the middle first, or freeze around the edges in the middle last, and it pushes things up, right? So it's not you, and it's not that I didn't do anything wrong. And actually, this is a test I did. This one is just vegan mango kefir, the end.
Yum.
But I'm going to show you, let's see. Oh, and Sandra says, did I find you in a live video? And says, I'm the best. You're so sweet. Even with my cockeyed mouse ears. All right, so I just want to show you how easy this is, because I looked at this and I was like, oh no, because some people don't do anything, because if this is pretty even, and I am not showing you a good angle, I just block the angle. You can sort of see. So if this, take this out, was coming down this way and it's pretty even, that's okay. But if it's not even, it's going to then start to make it turn that way, which is going to scrape on your container. And eventually, if it's too much, it can scrape the plastic into your ice cream. You would see very clearly that there are marks on the inside, so it's not like it would be a surprise. And I've never had a mark on any of mine. And this is what I do. Is this not the most ridiculously simple thing you've ever seen? And it just comes right off. And so actually it looks just like granita. And granita is just like an icy kind of frozen dessert. So I just do that until it's about even. I just kind of check it. And then whenever I need to even it out, I just take my spoon. And so it takes no time at all. And that's one of the things, I'm in a bunch of different Ninja Creami Facebook groups, and that's one of the things that everybody panics about. And here, and you can kind of taste it and see what you think too. Oh, it's so good. Ooh, it's super tangy, yummy.
Yum.
Okay, I'm going to go back to you so I can get out my other one, and I will
Okay.
then do my Dole Whip version.
I can't wait. But this is so much fun because we're getting into summer and there's so much fruit that you can use in this. I mean, in winter, I've used frozen fruit and canned fruit, but with all the fresh fruit coming, I mean, like a peaches and cream would be so good, wouldn't it?
Yes, and I'm back to both of us, and then I'll go to me in a minute.
Okay.
I already made pumpkin spice.
I did too.
So I used a whole can of pumpkin in mine. And so like the Ninja Creami recipe has one for like a pumpkin one. They use 3 tablespoons. And I'm like,
No.
on up there,
Yeah.
Ninja Creami.
Yeah.
Let's get some vegetables and fruit into people. I want to make a couple of savory ones. So I've got a couple of weird ones on my list too. And let's see. I lost count on here. My lines keep moving. I'm not sure what that means. Kathy says, oh good, I didn't miss this. No, we're about halfway through, so this is going to be a long show. Shocker. Right? My unboxing was an hour and a half because everyone's like, Ninja Creami, do the demo on the creamy. And I was like, okay. And Lizzie was saying the scraping is an important tip because that's one of the things that, because when I'm doing a cookbook too, if there's a bunch of those appliances, I go and look in Facebook groups, I look in the reviews and see what people are complaining about for that appliance. Because once you know, and it's not a big deal. Okay. Diane says, wow, Kathy, Cheryl must love this. We'll be having a delicious, cool dessert. Yes. And she doesn't love smoothies, but like you can make green smoothies in here too. And one thing I want to say is I believe it's Dr. Greger, and you should check on this because I am not a doctor and I am not playing one on YouTube either. Julie, would you like to play a doctor? Because you can.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, Julie will play the doctor. Dr. Greger was saying that, because a lot of the whole food plant-based people aren't super fond of smoothies, but eating smoothie bowls that doesn't spike your blood sugar and different things the same way that drinking a smoothie does.
Oh, really?
So check that out and see if that works with your eating plan. But I don't know about you, but waking up and having basically a bowl of ice cream every morning for breakfast that has no sugar except for fruit sugar sounds great. Oh, and Kathy's saying, needs to find the story about my mouse ears. Okay, you just came just in time because I'm making Dole Whip. And so what is in this container is basically some crushed pineapple. And I'm going to go to full screen so I can change some things up. But Julie, you just chime in. Okay. And it took a little less than a full can. This one is 20 ounces. I did have a bunch of these organic cans that are 14 ounces, and this fit exactly. So literally, it's just juice and fruit. You can just plunk it in, and there you go. So I may cut up a pineapple depending on how long we end up going and how interesting cutting up a pineapple is to you, because I'm here for you. Okay, so I'm gonna put this in here, right? So we want to make sure it's in here good so it doesn't move around. And just like Julie said, and I'll show you from overhead. So it kind of, I wiggle it until it kind of gets on there. And then you just push this and it clicks. Okay, and now, let's see. I'm gonna change this camera. And it's gonna be oh so professional. Not. And you're gonna see I'm a mess. You know what? It's okay. It's worth it. So I always put this in the front, and I want you to notice this is a little riser coming up, and it clicks. Okay, so I'm going to turn it on, and there's different things here. There's ice cream sorbet, light ice cream, smoothie bowl, gelato, milkshake, because you can make a milkshake with liquid and some other things. So like actual scoops of ice cream and non-dairy milk. I haven't used that yet, and mix in for like mixing in chocolate chips or nuts or cookies or whatever. I haven't gotten exactly down. These do slightly different things on slightly different speeds. I would assume this would be a good sorbet. Sorbet or light ice cream is going to be harder. Smoothie bowl could be too, so we're going to do sorbet. You can see it come down a little bit. So it comes down through there. Let's see if this helps. So you can kind of see it go through. I'm trying to get a little further away from it. And the speed changes a little bit. And then we'll definitely hear it when it comes up again too. But see how it's going down in a straight line pretty much? And you can see all that white. And you can see the very bottom. So you can definitely see it right there. And that's it coming back up. And see, this is moving because it's not attached right now. Okay. Let me move this over here. Okay, and I'll answer some questions. This is it going up. And
it's kind of like a jet engine.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say it kind of sounds like a jet engine.
Say that one more time because this was in my ear. I couldn't hear it. Everybody else heard.
It sounds a bit like a jet engine.
It does. It's not quiet. And usually I don't stand here. Like, it has really good rubber feet, so I don't find it dancing around at all. Mm-hmm. Okay, and so people are, oh, this is funny. Debbie said, this is actually sweet. I'm happy for pineapple cutting up. This show is very enjoyable, so longer is good. We need that feedback on our first show.
We do. And then we need suggestions for show number 2.
Yes, and Lydia, I'll get to this question too. So I'm gonna have to hold this down and then I can get on the riser. Now, sometimes this is stuck, and we can talk about that because I actually ran some warm soapy water in here and ran the mix in or respin one, because I usually take a wet paper towel and clean this part off. right? This little nub, but it's a big long thing, so there's no way to clean that, which is unfortunate. The end. Now, okay, mine actually is not.
That looks great.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be a little bit powdery, but probably because I had it out for a while. And if it was powdery, what I would do is make a hole, just like if you're going to do a mix-in, you'd make a hole and add your stuff in. But I'd make a hole, put maybe a tablespoon or 2 of non-dairy milk, smooth this out again, and then I would respin it. And that's it. And so to clean this, I'm just going to take this blade out. I'm going to be me and scrape all of it off, but I don't have one of my spatulas. But yes, I do this every time. Do I think you should do it? Probably not. But you do you. And so I have to take a big bite too, huh?
It was so good. I forget how good it is until I know.
Oh my God.
You can't buy ice cream like this. You can't. See, that's the difference. You can go to the store and you can buy vegan ice cream, but it's not like this. This is so fresh tasting.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, like, the homemade is so much better. I don't even buy vegan ice cream for the most part anymore because this is just amazing. So in the long run, I guess you probably save a lot of money because what is it, a pint of vegan ice cream is expensive.
Right, a pint. I was saying a pint now is getting as much as $8.
Yeah.
Like on sale, they're like $4.99, and there's as much as like, and that's not even for like the super fancy stuff. And this literally is just pineapple and juice. And it looks like Dole Whip too, though, doesn't it? Let me see if I can.
It does.
Well, I know the lighting isn't great on this, but I'll show you in a minute again. Now, here, let me show you real quick. This one thing I want you to see is that, do you see how there's a couple of pieces of pineapple? Can you kind of see that darker color right there? Sometimes a couple of pieces of pineapple will stick to that blade, and they're fine to eat. But just so if you see something that looks kind of hairy like this, it's probably pineapple. So I just want to like get that done now, because the first thing Cheryl will say, and see how I'm making myself another bite? Because Cheryl will be like, what's that? Yummy goodness. Thank you very much. Okay, let me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to spread this out because this is probably what we're going to eat later today, because it would be rude for me just to keep taking bites like this.
But it's so good.
It is. And I'm only putting my spoon back in here because it's just going to be maybe me and Cheryl. Could just be me eating this. But I mean, if you are okay with eating a bowl of pineapple for breakfast, or a couple of bananas, there's no reason you can't have this. If it fits in with what you're already doing.
That would be really good with granola on top. I know. And sliced bananas.
That's really awesome. Oh, and I wanted to, show you. There we go. So this is a non-alcoholic spirit. So it's a distilled thing that has no alcohol. This one tastes like dark cane spirit or dark rum.
Ooh.
And so this would be really good, and you would be able to add, I've got an experiment going with I call it a Kathy Mai Tai, because it's not a real Mai Tai anyhow. I'll put us both together for this. Because when I was making mine for, there's my drunken ears going again. Maybe that's what.
Kathy's been drinking.
It's not alcoholic, but yet still. That I don't even remember what I was saying now.
About the rum, and that it was like you have an experiment going.
Oh, okay, thank you. I call it the Kathy Mai Tai, because when I make it, I use like dark rum, lemon, lime, orange juices, a little maraschino cherry, and some amaretto, which is kind of a cheater
Yum.
Mai Tai in all the ways. So I used some cherry syrup, dark rum, amaretto, lime juice, lime zest, and some other stuff.
Yum.
So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how easy it's going to spin or anything. And Kathy has a really great question. If you were to respin it, let's say you put a tablespoon of non-dairy milk, would they spin down and spin back up in the same amount of time as the first spin? They're about
Faster, I feel like.
Sometimes it goes a little faster. I think it depends on just how, like with mine, it would have gone down really quick. Sometimes when I spin it, it looks like powder. And again, that just means your freezer's cold. So leave it out for 5 or 10 minutes. So if I know I'm doing something that maybe is more water forward, less sugar forward, like pineapple, mango, bananas, those all have a lot of heft. So that's going to spin really well. But like you can put lemonade in there. Some people put store-bought lemonade. Now, I'm not sure if I would put date-sweetened lemonade in there unless I was using dates to give it something. Because we put ice, let's say we just filled one with water, it's going to break the machine, period. So we've got to make, and usually it's fat or sugar or alcohol. And like you probably could, I'm experimenting with some of this, but probably if something was going to freeze too hard, you could put a tablespoon of vodka in it or something like that. There are also some different things like guar gum, xanthan gum, arrowroot, cornstarch, stuff that you can play with too.
That's something that I do use on some of the ice creams. I'll do a little bit of xanthan gum, and that makes a big difference in getting that silky mouthfeel creaminess that where sometimes without it, it's more on the icy side. Even with the fat of like coconut milk in there, I find that one is almost like an insurance policy that it's going to come out great. Just a tiny, tiny bit, and I blend it first. You cannot just add it into the container because that will be so gross.
Yes, yeah, and xanthan gum will gump up some too. And
Right.
So if you can use xanthan gum, a lot of things I've used ground chia seed in to substitute for xanthan gum, so that's probably an option too. So again, that's something else I'm going to be playing with. That's pretty funny.
I'm thinking like in like episode 337 and we're still on the Ninja. We'll be like, and today we're going to actually grow our own cacao beans.
I love that. I like this world tour of Ninja Creami for us. So make sure that you're talking to your Ninja Creami person. Okay, so and another thing about respinning, in general, you want to respin, not use the respin button, but especially if it's super powdery, use the button that you use to begin with.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Because the respin is going to do it just one way. So if we already know that we need it to go another way, like maybe it's light ice cream or sorbet or something that's harder, that's going to be better. And I think someone on Twitch is asking if you're a Kris Jenner. Personally, I think you look a lot better than Kris Jenner, so I don't know how I feel about that.
Thank you.
Kathy says she's enjoying this, and Dreamy Sunshine is laughing her behind off. So that's what we were hoping for, people. Okay, so I don't always have the best luck with this pineapple cutter, that pineapple corer, but we're going to try it because I will tell you this. I think this is close to the right size. You're supposed to put it next to it. It has these inches as if I haven't had a small pineapple. Oh, what about tapioca syrup? Tapioca should work too.
But tapioca syrup is different, so it is good because it will help it from crystallizing getting ice crystals in it, like a corn syrup would. So yeah, that is actually really good. I worked with a woman developing vegan ice cream recipes for her a few years back, and that was one of the things that I played around with was tapioca syrup. Not always easy to get, but it's fairly easy to find things online these days and order them. But I did find that the tapioca syrup tended to crystallize pretty quickly within, like in the jar, and it had to be remelted like maybe 4 to 6 months or something.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
interesting because I haven't used that at all.
It would be to use in place of corn syrup.
Okay. And there are a lot of
So it would,
recipes with corn syrup on the Ninja
yep.
sites. And you don't have a pineapple, right? So I'm just all alone on this
I
one.
I don't. But you know, a great place to get them is, or affordable place to get pineapples is Costco.
And
They're
they're
like
bigger.
$2.99.
They're
They're pretty big and they're $2.99.
they're great. And I actually just read an article about Costco pineapples. Actually, here, let me go back to both of us again.
Oh. Oh, is
And
it bad?
no, it's not bad at all. It's just
Okay,
that
good.
they are significant. Like when I was doing, like I tried to put this in and this goes like halfway and then the rest is
Yeah.
just there and I hack the rest of it out. Um,
Yeah.
so that's why I'm like, this is my first time doing it on a non-Costco pineapple, so it might actually work better.
Okay.
I got this pineapple at Aldi's for like $1.99 and it's still significant and it's heavy. So I think Costco's a great place and you don't need one of these things. I got one because I just wanted to, okay, I got it for two reasons. One of the reasons is that I want to make cocktails in my pineapple shells eventually.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
which is a dumb reason to get it. So, and the other is I'm like, well, what if it did make it just really easy? Because like hacking all this around isn't always great. And then cutting off the core. So some people also just cut off the core, but we're going to try it this way and then we'll see what happens. So I'm going to lay
Kathy,
it on.
can I?
Yeah.
Can
Oh,
I
you're
ask
going
you
to show
one
yours.
second? So, no. So what I was going to say is my phone is saying I have low battery. So if I unplug the Ethernet cord and put in the power cord, will it disconnect me from the broadcast?
Are you just on, are you, it could, and if it does, just click the link again.
Okay.
Worst case scenario. So I'll
Sorry
go to
to
me, and if it
interrupt.
disconnects, and then I'll hear you calling me.
Okay.
So I'll leave it
Great.
up just in case.
Okay.
So, you know, I should just wear the thing on here. Here we go. Because I don't think I can take, don't I look, there we go. Okay. So the mouse ears are just because I made Dole Whip. That's the only reason. And that I decided I wanted to wear my Haunted Mansion shirt. But this is the 50th anniversary of them. And Julie, so far so good. That's all I got to say.
Woo!
Oh, it's awesome.
see me?
Look, it didn't change anything. There you are. Yay. So now
good.
you can also cut off part of this and you can plant the top. And there you have a house plant. Twofer. And it'll grow its own little pineapple. I've heard you take some of this stuff out. You can look it up on YouTube. Plant it in some dirt and it grows. So have you
Yay.
done that?
Or you could make tapache. I haven't, but I've made tapache. And we should do that on one show because with all the trimmings of the pineapple, you can make this delicious fermented beverage, which is very refreshing during the summer.
Even the top, this part?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
I think if I remember correctly that was added to it. I could be wrong. I have to look at my notes.
It's okay. I'm just hoping, I want to find a way to get the pineapple out, make your drink, and have a house plant. Because then that is $2 well spent. So
Yeah.
this has little, I think, I'm going to go back to full me just so I can change all the cameras. Okay, so it has these little ridges, and I mean, it's obviously plastic. So I'm supposed to kind of find the core, which is real easy to find, and then we just push it in. And it may, in this first little bit, get some of the pineapple rind, and I can cut that off. And the thing is I feel like I'm too short to do this. I'm going to get a step stool. If you're above 5 feet, your chances will be better. And if this only goes part of the way, that's okay. Because I'll show you how to do it with the rest. Let's see if... So you see how it's already kind of coming up? There's some pieces in there. There's also juice. So in fact, let me grab something. I've been pouring out the juice, and I'll show you how I've been doing that. Because I like in the cans that you get the juice too.
I feel like I should root you on. Go, Kathy, go.
I know. Okay, so I'm going to get this part out, which is not that much. What happens is that this comes off. It's supposed to come off. It should come off so that the pineapple, can slide off. But here's the thing. This is what's been happening to me every time. So we'll do a little both. And then I get what I'm calling pineapple trash. Which is delicious, and it's also sold in cans as crushed pineapple. I'm going to wash my hands really quick. And the thing that is cool is that you do get a lot of juice. And so even just from that little bit, I got at least a 1/4 cup of juice. So that's one way.
Lovely.
Okay. And we're just going to do the rest of it normal, so you can see both ways. And I'm just going to put all this in here. And I'm going to wash my hands again, because I'm a crazy person. I feel like you should narrate it like, I don't know, I'm catching something in the jungle or something. I don't know. And now she dares. Let me get my my compost bowl, because there's going to be a lot. So usually what I do when I do it this way is I just kind of cut this around to the best of my ability. I'm not.
Are you using a serrated knife?
I am not. Should I be?
I don't know. I always grab a serrated knife to do that. I just wondered what you are using.
I'm using just my regular Misen chef's knife that I use for everything.
Okay.
It's pretty sharp. I know that I don't quite go as deep, and then a lot of times I'll come back and get some of those off, because I'm being greedy and trying to get all the pineapple that I can off of it. But I'm not sure it really saves time. How do you do it?
You know what? I have the metal version of your plastic one, which I bought as an impulse buy at Home Goods one day when I was in there. It was a couple of dollars, and it's been great. It's great.
Maybe
but I also
need the
sometimes
metal
just
one.
use a knife. Well, and maybe that's the difference. It's pretty sharp, the metal one, and I don't know. Like I said, it was a total impulse buy. I kind of always wanted one, and I was like, it was by the checkout, so I got it. But probably at least half the time I just grab a knife, because that's how I'm used to doing it, and I cut off both ends and then trim the sides off.
And I do usually cut the ends off first, but since I had the idea of the vase.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes you just have to go with what's working, and so if you are trying your pineapple slicer and it's not working, then pull out the knife and it's all good.
And then I just kind of cut it. Usually you don't see this, but now it's very easy to see. Yeah. We want to cut around the core. And you could do this like a mango too. Eat any of the delicious parts off. or just make some little spears. I just find what I like about the others, how you're getting all this good juice. Now when you cut this, and I'm trying to get most of the ickies off, you will get some juice. So I do recommend using a cutting board that has a little valley like this, or a little gutter. Because then as we cut, that juice will pull in there and we can turn it and put it into something. And from this pineapple, let's see, we could do anything with it. We can freeze it. I can make smoothies with it. I can make Dole Whip with it. And here's what I would do, since this pineapple's seeming dry, or maybe I just got all the juice it was going to give earlier on, is that I'd put that juice in, and then if it's real dry, just add some non-dairy milk. And I don't like using vanilla with the pineapple. I tried it, and then it doesn't taste like, huh?
You don't like vanilla and pineapple together?
Not when I'm trying to make Dole Whip only.
Oh, yeah, that would be a distracting. It could be a different flavor.
And see, this stuff that you're seeing here, it's not like a tattoo the pineapple's giving me or anything. So wouldn't that be cool if pineapples gave you little tattoos? Or is that just kind of my mind this late in the afternoon? And everybody's going, she is so drinking. I know that she is. But I promise you I'm not. It's mocktail heaven over here in the Hester household. And because I cut those, I'm going to cut this in half. Because if I tried to put that on its side, it would just wiggle. And then there would be blood on a live. And that would definitely get us blocked.
Oh, that would not be good.
But one of the things I want you to see is just how much pineapple this is. And that's even with me having pretty much a cup of pineapple, not even here. Right? So this was $1.99.
Amazing.
This was $1.65. So,
and you know what? I freeze pineapple all the time. I just do exactly what you're doing, and then I freeze the chunks of it, and I use it to throw into smoothies.
It's
great.
And it's
or
amazing.
Cocktails.
And you can also then make, frozen pina coladas, mocktail or cocktail version.
Yeah.
And even with me trying to do this thing that was just really not going well, it maybe took 10 minutes. Maybe it took 15. Maybe it was 5 minutes with the other thing.
Not long.
But this is probably 3 pints of Dole Whip.
Amazing.
For $1.99. And how much is a pint of ice cream?
Oh, I would say between $7 and $8 unless it's on sale or on special at the store. But now, do you find that there's any difference between the canned pineapple and fresh pineapple in the Dole Whip that we make in the Creami?
No, but I will say this. So like this one is chunks. This one is crushed. If I'm buying it, I try to buy the crushed because I find if I just put you can put it just like this into your pint and it will shave it. You will get more pineapple hairs.
Okay.
So usually what I do is and also I can tell how much a pint is. I can fill this one up, pour it out, do a next one so that way I get the right amount of milk, non-dairy milk. And I'm using plain, not vanilla. And I'm using unsweetened. And I don't find a lot of difference in the creaminess if I use a little non-dairy milk or not. It still looks like Dole Whip. Because like the one you saw that looked so creamy and light, it had none. None.
And then you get the pure pineapple flavor.
On both, yeah. I just think it's really good. But that's the only thing. And if it doesn't bother you, if you don't have a picky eater at home, then it's probably fine.
For what? The fibers?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do you feel about it?
You know what? I like sometimes little bits of pineapple in there because I feel like there are these little juicy gems of fruit in it. So it's kind of fun. But if it was a really especially fibrous pineapple, and maybe that's the difference between canned pineapple and fresh pineapple, maybe the fresh tends to have more fibers that haven't been broken down.
That's probably true. Well, the thing is since this is packed in pineapple juice and pineapple juice is acidic, I would
That's true.
imagine.
It would,
Yeah.
yep, it would break it down. I've only done the canned pineapple with the creamy, and I bought like 20 cans of crushed pineapple and juice because I was like, I want to have it on hand for whenever the mood strikes me.
It it's one of our favorites. So Cheryl isn't so much for banana and ice cream. Like growing up
Yeah.
in the South, we had banana ice cream. It wasn't ice
Yes.
cream, right? And that was my favorite flavor of ice cream growing up. So
Nice.
I can eat it every day. But she's like, yeah, no. So this is
Yeah.
better for her. But a lot of people, if you go on the Ninja Creami Facebook groups, they're
Yeah.
talking about buying Dole Whip mix.
Oh, see, I don't think that would like be as good as using, fresh or canned pineapple.
No, and it's not going to be good for you. It's
Yeah.
going to have
Yeah.
stabilizers and sugar and all kinds of stuff in it. But you can get the different flavors. But do you know what? So, because now Dole Whip in, Disney is pineapple. But now Dole Whip is kind of, you can get orange Dole Whip or strawberry Dole Whip or lime
Yeah.
Dole Whip. Think about it for a second. You could do the
Yeah.
same thing. You could,
Yeah.
I did do some with some fresh strawberries. I didn't do Dole Whip. I actually put it with
Oh, yum.
vanilla half and half. Well, vanilla coffee creamer, Califia,
Okay.
the almond
Okay.
one. I would like to do it differently. I was just trying to make it easy. It did get really creamy, but I didn't like some of the flavors because I used a significant amount of it.
Yeah. I get it. Have you used, oh my gosh, now I'm forgetting the name of my almond milk, at Joy Almond Milk. Have you
Oh, JOI,
tried that?
right? Yeah.
Yes.
I have some cashew, almond, and oat. The oat is really pretty. The oat's a powder.
Right, right. But the almond I find is pretty neutral. So when I want, because that's what I don't like about some of the store-bought non-dairy milks is they have too much flavor on their own.
That's a good point. I think with the coffee creamer, for me, it probably had to do with the extra stuff to make it thick. I think I was
Oh, okay.
tasting it
Yeah.
at that amount where I wasn't tasting it before, if that makes sense. But like one of
It
the things
does.
I want you guys to know too is that whatever blender you have, the Vitamix, the Blendtec, a Ninja, a big one, a little one, again,
Yeah.
I got the new, it's the Smart Torque with the smoothie bowl. If you look up smoothie bowl, and I just upgraded it. But I love the way I can just take whatever I have left over. That's how I made my weird Kathy Mai Tai ice cream, is that I had this much pineapple left, so I just put it in and kept building flavors. Every time I would add something, I'd mix it and taste it. Mix it and taste it. The only thing you want, like if you hear a really horrible noise or something like that, stop it. Just stop it, okay? And let it.
Just push the power button, you mean?
I think the power button, yeah, I think I do mean the power buttons. Because if that means either it's crooked, I think it's mostly in a different model than these, but some people had it where the blade was getting left.
Oh, gosh.
But if you hear anything weird, and again, I'm telling you about this is none of these things have happened to me, except for I get mine real powdery all the time. And so someone was really wanting to change that, and I said the two things again to do, because that's a biggie, is to let it sit out 5 to 10 minutes. You may also just respin it 3 times. That's the worst case scenario, but after the first one, if it's super powdery, I add a little non-dairy milk.
Problem solved.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions? Again, wherever you're watching, somewhere around in here. Woo! Make sure you're following Julie on Everyday Dish if you're not watching there now. Or follow me on my YouTube channel. Julie and I are going to be doing these all summer long. We're still negotiating about the time frame, though. We were talking about maybe doing more of them rather than less. So you guys let us know in the comments. Do you want more of these? Yay. And if you do, what would you like us to make? Do you want us to, because we were thinking we would do things with the Ninja Creami. We could do things in the Instant Pot. We could do things in the kitchen.
On the barbecue.
And Cheryl cleaned it up, so there's no bird's nest in my grill. Yay. And she changed out the gas thing. We also, when I went looking at it, we haven't used it in so long. Actually, a big part, the part that connects the gas to the thing, got recalled the year after we bought it. So we haven't used it in 8 years. It's a stove grill, yeah. And so she went and replaced all that and made us hot dogs, vegan hot dogs on the grill yesterday. So everything's working well. Because I want to do a smoker. So we were talking about getting one of those little smokers and smoking some stuff. So, oh, and Lizzie said this.
And we could do.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
This was so much fun, Lizzie says, and we could do, says Julie.
Barbecued pizzas, gluten-free pizzas. I have a really good crust recipe, a really good dough recipe.
Okay, then you'll have to give me that crust recipe and we can make it together.
I will. Okay. Yeah. That'd be fun.
Oh, and we can make
everything summer.
I have a pepperoni spice that you can make anything into a pepperoni topping, but I've done it with oats. We can make gluten-free, like sausage-sized pepperoni, but that takes a long time because then you steam it, you treat it like gluten. But I have also just put that pepperoni spice on like riced cauliflower and put it on pizza.
Ooh, yum.
And that works really good. Debbie says, yes, more please. All suggestions sound good. And Diane says, sure, summer garden barbecue recipes. Maybe eggplant, zucchini.
Yum. Yeah.
And she also says barbecue pizza sounds good. Debbie says especially barbecue for me going into late summer is useful. Ah, and Diane is asking me from yesterday because I got 10 pounds of blueberries for $20.
Wow.
I still have 5 pounds in the fridge. At Sprouts. I tell you. They're still dehydrated, and I'm dehydrating probably about 4 pounds of them back here. So they're doing pretty good. I was doing some other reading, but let me see if I can.
Oh, cool.
Change. Oh, there we go. You can kind of see them. Someone was saying that it's better if you blanch them really quick because they dry a little bit faster because it kind of makes it craze like pottery, which I did not do because I was like, woohoo, it's 5 o'clock at night and I bought 10 pounds of blueberries. I'm ready for 10 pounds of raspberries. But they said it could take as long as 24 hours. And I think we're getting close to 24 hours, so I probably will let it go probably about 25 to 30. And I think that'll be great.
Perfect. Yum.
So there's that.
We're almost in berry season here in the Pacific Northwest,
so
and I am
This
dying.
is like 4 pounds.
Unbelievable.
Okay. Let's see what other questions we have. And do you have anything you want to add, Julie?
Not that I can think of. Just this is so much fun. I can't wait to see what our next one's going to be.
Well, Lydia says yes, more. And Kathy says, are they still they are still dehydrating. But I feel like they're more than, I think there might be 65%, 75% done. But if I let them over dehydrate, that's not a big deal because I want these to be very dry. I'm not going to be using them as something else. I was thinking yesterday when I was talking, I could make like oatmeal kits with them. You can also make like, I could make blueberry muffin or blueberry quick bread mixes to give for gifts with them.
Nice.
Yeah. And of course you can put them in teas, like herbal tea blends and stuff like that too. Mm-hmm. Oh, and Lizzie says she has the same dehydrator and she's been using it constantly for 20 years. And if you don't have a dehydrator, go to your local thrift store. Chances are you'll find a Nesco. They're so plentiful and they always seem to work. Just plug them in. It's just a fan. I got mine for free. Someone wasn't using it, gave it to me. And I also dehydrate in my Breville a lot. But with something as moist as those fresh blueberries, it's just going to be me wiping all that condensation off constantly, and I didn't have to there. And Linda said it was a lot of fun, so more would be great. And that is
true.
Diane's saying, can powder them up for smoothies, because I made, in the dehydrator class we made strawberry powder. And we made lime powder, lemon powder, and orange powder too.
Ooh.
Cocktails or mocktails.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
Or ice cream.
Yes, you could totally put them in ice cream too. So I didn't do a whole lot. I've got like probably, I don't know, 1/8 of a cup of each one. So maybe I will try that, because I was thinking of trying to do like a sorbet, not a sorbet, a sherbet.
Ooh, yum. And you could do a swirl. I wonder if you could, as you freeze it, kind of swirl it in, like kind of with a spoon, and then put the cap on and freeze it. You might have a swirl.
Have you swirled yet?
I have not swirled, no.
I haven't either. And I'm a little nervous about it.
But it's worth a try.
It is worth a try. They're saying with some things like fruit mix-ins, like fruit that you might want to add at the end. Because like if I made this mix and then I put whole blueberries in there, they're going to get shaved.
Yeah.
And so I'm still not sure what so I was thinking you'd probably want to spin it, put frozen blueberries in there, and mix it by hand.
Oh, that would work.
And I think you could do a swirl like that too, because it should be so cold it would freeze. We got to talk more about this.
I mean, seriously, we do. I feel a lot of ice cream coming on.
Well, and
I better go order my containers.
Go order them. I'll send you the link. So, okay. You guys, if you're interested in the Creami, I was surprised that they did a $70 off sale right now, because this is right when they're going to be most popular. I don't know if there are going to be any other sales. So if you think you want one, 2 great ways to get it. One, go to the link wherever you're watching this and use the code Memorial70, which is only good through like June 1st, possibly at midnight at the 31st, so check it out. And then it's $159.99. Costco has them with 3 containers for the same price. They're $20 off, or they were this weekend. So hopefully they still are. Usually they do month-long sales. So you should have till tomorrow. I don't know. Check it out online. Oh, Lydia, I did not get back to your question. I'm so sorry. Lydia said, why can't we use frozen fruit? So here's the thing. You can use frozen fruit. What you can't do is plop in a bunch of frozen strawberries and then put it in the freezer and put it in the Creami, because then there's all those holes and different things like that. So there are 2 things you could do. One is then you could fill it up with non-dairy milk and maybe simple syrup. If you're using frozen strawberries, which is my example, they're usually not very sweet. So I probably would add a little maple syrup or something. The other thing is just put that frozen fruit with some milk into your blender and then pour it in here.
Right.
So you totally can, but like they say, there's certain things you can and can't do. And again, it's because, and Julie, did you know about the Paco Jet already?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I have been pining for one for about 20 years.
Well, they have a discount version. Like the big version is like $10,000, and now the discount version is $4,000. And so the Ninja Creami is $200. So it's not made with the same kind of commercial equipment that the PacoJet is. And so like you can look up PacoJet recipes, just realize if there's something that seems like it's something Ninja told you not to do, maybe think about it. Think about why, or ask one of us. And we'll figure it out.
But I don't pine for a PacoJet anymore since having this. Yeah.
I think that Apple had asked the question too that maybe I blew past. Let me see. Does it blend? If I put oat flakes and water with the prep mix, will it turn into oat milk or nut butter? No. It's just that now the PacoJet perhaps, because it does some different things, but the Ninja Creami is just for frozen stuff. But what you can do, and what I would do, so if I wanted to do an oat date base, I'm going to do it in here and strain it and then put my other stuff with it. Okay, I don't think I missed anything else. Do you have any other questions? Because we have gone live for an hour and 40 minutes for our first live.
Oh my God. That's crazy. We can just talk and talk and talk.
4-hour first conversation, so you know where this is going. We will be making a plan, and as we make a plan, I will put up more things when we're going live so you guys can see. We have not decided quite yet if it's a weekly or bi-weekly thing.
And we might just surprise you. We'll be like, surprise! We're here! Where are you?
And don't worry, there'll always be a replay. Do you have anything you want to send everybody off into the world with?
I don't know. No. Have a great day. Like all these thoughts are like racing through my head, like, no. Go get some ice cream. Make some ice cream.
Yeah. Totally make some ice cream. JM says, so fun. We make a great team. Yes, we do. We knew that was going to be fun. And just in case, you know, I thought this would add a little levity. Also, it was a really good excuse for me to wear my Haunted Mansion mouse ears. I may never get this again. Oh, Joanne was here. Hi, Joanne. That's awesome. Have we talked you into the Ninja Creami yet? And I hope you're doing well, and I hope you're at home. I know that Joanne has been taking care of her mom a lot and traveling. And Kathy says, I'm so glad that you have upcoming shows listed on YouTube. If all goes as planned, at the end of this week, you will see all of June's. I have all of this week's. That's all I can manage this weekend. So I just want to say, have a good time today. Try not to take yourself too seriously. If you're feeling overwhelmed, just stop. Take a deep breath, do something that you really enjoy, take a walk, make a cocktail, a mocktail, a smoothie, sit out in the garden, okay? Just take a deep breath. And as always, whatever I'm telling you, I'm telling me, because I've been overwhelmed all day. And like I usually say, if you have just a teaspoon of energy left, just do something nice for yourself. And if you have a teaspoon and a half, do something nice for somebody else too, okay? We will see you guys real soon. And don't forget, Chef AJ is coming on Plant-Based Chat on Friday at 5 p.m. So I know you don't want to miss that. And Julie, we will talk soon about when our next one will be.
Okay, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Okay, bye everybody.
Thanks, Kathy.